Why do East Asian countries like China, Japan, and Korea have such different and often complex writing systems? If they share ancient cultural roots, why not just use one system, like many European countries do with the Latin alphabet? The answer takes us deep into history, politics, and the power of language to shape national identity. Let's begin with the oldest, China. Chinese writing is one of the world's oldest continuous systems, dating back over 3,000 years. Chinese characters, or Hanzi, are logograms. Each one represents a meaning, not just a sound. Over time, this system became the foundation of written communication not only in China, but across much of East Asia. For centuries, scholars in Korea, Japan, and Vietnam all studied classical Chinese texts. But here's where it gets interesting. Although they shared the characters, they didn't share the spoken language. That's where adaptation, and eventually divergence, began. Japan adopted Chinese characters around the 5th century, but the Japanese language is structurally very different from Chinese. It's agglutinative, meaning it builds words with lots of suffixes. Chinese characters alone couldn't handle that, so the Japanese developed hiragana and katakana, two syllabaries that represent sounds, not meanings. These are collectively known as kana. Today, Japanese uses a mix of 3 scripts. Kanji, Chinese characters, for roots and nouns. Hiragana for grammar and native words. Katakana for foreign words and emphasis. It looks complex, but for Japanese readers, it's intuitive. Each script plays a different role. Now, let's talk about Korea. Like Japan, Korea originally used Chinese characters, Hanja, for writing. But again, the Korean language is totally different from Chinese, both in grammar and pronunciation. In the 15th century, King Sejong the Great decided that enough was enough. He commissioned a new writing system, Hangul. This script was scientific, simple, and perfectly suited to Korean sounds. Hangul is often called one of the most logical writing systems in the world. It's alphabetic, but the letters are grouped into syllabic blocks, making it visually unique. For example, Hangul. Hangul is one word, but it's made of blocks that combine letters based on pronunciation. Today, South Korea uses mostly Hangul, though some Chinese characters still appear occasionally in newspapers, legal documents, or to distinguish between homophones. North Korea, on the other hand, has eliminated Hanja entirely. So why didn't Japan and Korea just drop Chinese characters altogether? Well, China was the dominant cultural and intellectual force in the region for centuries. Using Chinese characters was a way to connect with that prestige, power, and tradition. But over time, each country had to decide how much of that legacy should remain. Korea moved away faster and more completely. Japan chose to keep the characters but mix them with native scripts. The result? 3 very different writing systems shaped by a mix of practicality, politics, and cultural pride. So the next time you see Chinese characters, Japanese kana, or Korean Hangul, remember, they're not just symbols, they're stories. Stories of ancient influence, local invention, and the unique path each culture took to express itself in writing. If you enjoyed this dive into the world of scripts and symbols, don't forget to subscribe, leave a comment about your favorite writing system, and join us for more fascinating journeys through language and history. See you in the next video.